live.
Got it.
Got it.
Got it. It says, do you want to go live? I said, yes.
Got it.
Got it. My husband made me this lovely lemon and ginger. Oh, hello.
I said, yes. Got it. So you're going to have to mute something. So you're going to have to mute something.
Let me see.
How about now? Can you hear me now?
Yep, I can hear you now.
Can't hear you now. Okay, now.
Yeah, good.
Unmute, but you can hear me, right?
Yep.
Unmute.
I haven't done anything.
You haven't done anything?
No.
Unmute.
I haven't done anything.
You haven't done anything?
And it's coming off. Yeah.
Anything?
And it's coming off.
Okay, how about now?
Okay, testing, testing.
Okay, got it.
Is that good?
It is awesome.
Yay.
You know what? I'll just keep doing this every Wednesday morning until I get it right.
It's okay. It's okay. Happy to be an experiment.
Oh, good morning, my friend.
Good morning.
All right, so this is totally unscripted, except I have an opening and I have your little bio, and then we just do whatever.
Sounds great.
And then I have a little closing. So this gives everybody time to get their coffee, in case they want to type or accidentally turn on their cameras or something, put a shirt on. I don't know.
I got my shirt on. I got my shirt.
Good. Excellent. Okay. So here we are. It is Wednesday, December 6th. Hello, everybody. I am Samantha Buckley-Hugessen, Master Life Coach for Women in Business, and your host this morning for the Woohoo Wednesday Women in Business Network and Community Spotlight. So again, it's Woohoo Wednesday. Woohoo! Here in the Women in Business Network and Community, this is your day to boast, to break, to shine, or market your business. We only allow marketing upon introduction. So when I say, hey, yay, welcome to the group the first time, and then on Wednesdays, because otherwise it gets so yucky and spammy and nobody wants to hang out in Spamville, right?
Yeah.
The rest of the week, it's dedicated to motivation and mindset, turning challenges into opportunities, networking and connecting, and sometimes just being in a safe place to ask and be with other women in business when we're just going through the stuff of life, right?
Yeah.
So for now until just before the top of the hour, because I have a client at the top of the hour, we're spotlighting a fellow women in business, sister, amiga, to lead, inspire, teach, and grow you. So without any further ado this morning, we are welcoming Shelly Evans, who is my dear friend.
Yes.
I just have to say it's my
We're
dear
also
friend.
Friends.
Yes.
It's the many hats that women wear, right?
Correct. So I want to tell everybody about you, a little bit about your bio. So Shelly Evans, this is Shelly, with her husband David, runs one of the biggest development companies in Revelstoke, British Columbia. Starting with owning her own small business when just 24, she went on to be the only female director of sales at Whistler Blackcomb and helped create sales strategies in the resort of Whistler that they still use today. With a passion for her family, including 6 grandchildren, friends, 3 dogs, 5 horses, 2 ponies, 3 cats. She loves the outdoors and nature, mentoring young adults and other business women in the community, sharing knowledge, positive energy with anyone and everyone who needs it. I love this girl. She's a total connector too, like unbelievable connector. She doesn't always have the right answers, which
that's right.
You often have the right answers, but you're not afraid of how you would look by just continuing to drive for the solution, right?
You nailed it.
Yeah, well, that's one of the beauties of us being mature women in business, right? So, and I know a lot of the women that are here are some of them have really small startups. They were you at 24, right? Yeah. I didn't start my own business until, for my own personal baggage reasons, mommy issues. I didn't start my own business until my 40s. Yeah. I was much safer under the umbrella of running businesses for somebody who was going to guarantee my paycheck and things
For
like
sure.
that, right?
Yeah, because it's tricky. It's tricky. Being an entrepreneur is tricky.
It is tricky,
Mhm.
and it's not for everyone.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
and I say that, and I think that I mean, I know you agree, it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
Often people want the freedom and they want, for a while there isn't
Well,
much
they
freedom.
think they want the freedom, but I mean, I have yet to be an entrepreneur where I had any freedom. So that's the
Right?
problem. I think those are the girls we need to talk to.
Right.
But yeah, it's tricky, and it's all on your shoulders, and there's not a lot of people that you can rely on or relate to, and that was my thing being young. Like, I was like, yeah, I can do this, because I probably was just like, I'm going to do this, and I did. But I think what you said earlier, I think where the strength is to understand when you don't want to do it any longer, and you need to change, instead of like, I got to make this work. I've put my heart and soul into this. This is my thing. It's okay to say, you know what? Because that paycheck thing was a big thing. I was a young girl. I had my store for 3 years. It was tough, really tough. I mean, it was in Whistler at the time, but it wasn't that busy spring and fall. So you had to make or break summer and winter. So lots of things, but I did it. But then I also knew when it was time to go. I also said, Shelley. And so then when I left, when I sold my business, I did go for that paycheck, and that was super. I got to tell you, like, getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, I was just like, wow,
Right.
wow, I got a day off.
Right.
And so that's what I needed for quite a while. I mean, that's when I did my career at Whistler Blackcomb, and it was some of the best times of my life. I was 16 years there. I grew from like being a kids camp sales rep, worked my way up through the company with all these boys, to the very top.
Such a boys
And
club back then. I don't know
such
what
a
it
boys
is
club,
now, but
such a boys club. But, I have to say, I don't know. It's funny because I've been thinking a lot about this. Like, how do you describe what makes you an entrepreneur, or a woman in business, or a mentor, or, and a lot of that is admitting mistakes and just throwing yourself out there. And you have to be willing to just throw yourself out there and get knocked around and whoopsie, whether that's at a party, a business thing, a sporting event. I just went to this amazing thing in Miami where we're all racing cars, and a lot of people were like, oh no, like, I just don't know. I'm like, don't worry about it. Just if we go 60 kilometers an hour, who cares? And by the end of it, these girls were going 150 miles an hour,
right.
right? But
Right. Just get behind the wheel.
it's that fear, right? It's that stuff. So, going back to the entrepreneur thing, it is tough. And I think the most important thing is to learn what, it's okay to change paths and to change things. And there's no harm in that, right?
So one of the things, no, I mean, yay. Thanks for saying that. One of the things I write in my book is kind of like, you're never too far down a path that you can't pause and
Yes.
turn. Say hi to my dog. There's Gloria.
Hello.
And what I mean by that, and I tell all my clients this, and
Yeah.
they will tell you I say this, is like, you just can't quit.
Yeah.
And when I say that, it doesn't mean you can't be redirected. It doesn't mean that you have to stay in a space that isn't serving you, or, blah, blah, blah. But you can't quit because it's hard.
Yeah.
Figure it out. You can
Yeah.
say, this is not what I thought it was.
Yeah.
I'm not digging this.
Yeah.
What I would really love is this, and then go pursue that. But laying down on the ground and sucking your thumb and snot bubbles coming out your nose and throwing a tantrum, you can't quit. We are not quitters.
Yeah. No.
We're allowed to be redirected. We're
That's
allowed
right.
to change.
It's a big difference, right?
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
It's and also it's a matter of knowing when it's time to let go and allow yourself to be redirected.
That's right. That's right. And it's interesting because with my store, the passion was building it. Like, I was young, I was like, oh, I had to build it from the ground up. I got my friends in because I was broke. We like built the ceiling, we did this, we did that, and I ordered the clothes, and I knew how to do it, and I did all of these things. But then when I actually opened the doors, I went, well, I don't want to work in a clothing store. But so I tried it for the year or two. But when I wanted to quit / redirect, I didn't quit because I couldn't. But it was about a year before I sold it. So I had to say, okay, Shelley, like, this is not what I want to do. I can't quit. I need to redirect, but the only way I'm going to go is to sell this. So I need to keep focus and keep going. until I did finally sell it. So that's a good analogy of that redirect. I didn't want to be there anymore.
Okay, so then this is so great. I love these conversations because I get your wisdom and then I get to share some of my wisdom, right? And
Yeah.
that's the whole goal of doing these, is to reach out to these women in business who feel like they're on an island.
Yeah.
And nobody gets it.
Yeah.
By the way, we all get it.
Yeah, for
Because
sure.
we are moms and grandmas
Oh my
and,
God.
you know,
Everything.
we're breadwinners, all that kind of
Yeah.
good stuff, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, oh my God, what was my point? Oh,
Redirection.
no, I got it. No. Selling your business. So I just had this conversation last Thursday. I have a group that, for the most part, the core of the group, we've been meeting for 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
Design Your Business Mastermind group. And this one is not available for anybody else. It's closed now. But one of the things that I helped coach them on this week is that always make your business sellable.
Yeah.
One of the ways of making your business sellable is you got to get out from having to roll under the business.
Yeah.
Who else can do that job? You know what I mean? And
For
you
sure.
start elevating yourself
Yeah.
up where your business is always sellable.
That's right. That's
And
right.
it's
And it's
super,
options, right?
yeah.
You might not even want to sell your business
No.
or think about selling your business, but you know, I think especially for women, keeping your options open as well is a good thing, because I think that, you know, we are those roles. You know, we're moms, or we're wives, or we're sisters, we're aunties, you know, I'm a grandma. Yeah, I have 6 grandkids, and you know, you've got to keep your options open as well, because you know, you want to keep yourself safe, right?
Yes. Yes. And we, at our core, I think, you know, if you start looking at women, and last week Trez was on and was talking about like the high priestess in us and the goddess and all that kind of good stuff.
Yeah.
We naturally, especially if we're in this group and listening to this, we're women in business.
Mm-hmm.
So we have something in common. We're badasses.
Yeah.
We might be at the beginning of a badass career. We might be
Mm-hmm.
at the, like you and I, more mature. It's like been there,
Yeah.
done that, sis.
Yeah.
And it's the matter of, we try and do everything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a good idea. When you
Yeah.
started your store, you had to do everything and pull the resources you had, right?
Of course. Yeah.
But then you get to the point where I don't want to go in and unlock the door of the retail, and
I don't want to sit there for 7 hours.
7 hours, and
I'm
then
too A-type.
right,
I
and
need
close out the
action.
register, and you
Yeah.
know, for
Yeah.
sure. So
Yeah.
it's just, if that's a great piece I want to give to people
Mhm.
here, is if you are self-employed, get your business to the point where you're a business owner, so you could always sell it. If you ever wanted to
Yeah.
sell it, you could sell it, right?
That's right.
So it's one of those,
That's
who
right.
else could do that job? Who else could do
Yeah.
that job, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Anyway, now
Yes.
tell me about your big business that you have with David, because you know what, sis, that's friggin' impressive. Like, oh my God, I know Shelly. I know Shelly and Dave. I know them.
It's been a journey. Yeah. And I mean, I think it just goes back to, you know, being an entrepreneur, and what we do, we're a development company. So we came here probably 15 years ago, and, you know, my husband's very good at, you know, he used to work in banking, high finance. And I think that one of the analogies I wanted to bring up about what he does very, very well is he had his own hedge fund, and, you know, they could be trading, you know, sometimes hundreds of millions of dollars in a day. He does not have $100 million, by the way, but that could be his life, you know, at that particular point. And they're thinking about a hedge fund person, which I've learned from him, because I learned from you, I learned from him. I am open. I take nuggets. Like, I'm just like, oh, I'll take this. I'm going to take that from everybody.
So smart.
You know, when I see something that I think is really important. And I think was one of my superpowers, because I'm not just like, I'm just the best in the world. It's like, well, no, like, this piece came from there. This piece came from Sam. This piece came from my friend Diane, right?
Amen.
And that is where you've got to be open to, like, listening to other people. So anyway, back to David, you know, when he had his hedge fund, he used to say to me, you have to know when to cut. You know, you have to know when to walk away. So for instance, if there was this big, you know, stock they bought and they thought it was going one way, it was going the other way, you could sit there and watch it go down, 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 because you love this stuff. You've got to know when to cut. You've got to know when to walk away. And even though, yes, maybe you've lost this chunk of thing, you got to know when to cut. And I think that's a really important thing. And I've really taken that into my personal life with people, right? emotionally. Like some people just like, you just got to know that this relationship's draining me, or a business or anything. So it goes back to knowing, like for my store, I guess I had that in me, knowing when to cut for me. And then the development business, you know, he's been very good at saying, okay, we're gonna get this land, we're gonna put it together, and you know, and start the zoning process. And it's extremely time consuming, extremely difficult. What I didn't realize, that when you become a developer, it then becomes a very personal thing. People want to label you. You are an evil developer, or you are greedy, or you are, and you're just like, well, wait a minute, none of these things define me. You know, we're creating this new life for ourselves. We're spending a lot of money investing in land. We're spending a lot of money on our people, building, you know, we don't get paid until we turn keys over, and sometimes that's 2 years away. So very stressful situation, in a sense. However, I think we're very lucky that we always have those solutions. And you said that at the beginning, you know, it is my biggest strength and my biggest weakness. Like, I'm solution driven. So the amount of problems, I couldn't even list them today. Like that, you know, I was at a council meeting 10 days ago, had to stand up, and I always call them in front of the old white-haired guys, you know, that I just eat for breakfast, because like they're just all these people who don't want you to succeed, or it wasn't this way when I was here, or I don't like it, or you're taking too much of the pie, and you're just like yum 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 yum, right? But you have to be very calm and professional, because as a woman, like, God forbid we lose it.
Oh my God, right?
Right. So my thing, you know, and age, as you said, you know, is a huge factor as you mature. Shelley at 20 would have lost my mind at these people, because I didn't have the tools. And then now I can just go, oh, interesting. And I can use some of the things that they do to my benefit. Right. So yeah, so we have developed, we have a business called Mackenzie Village, and we have other development stuff here. We have sold 3 big phases, so like 160 condos, 20,000 square feet of commercial, that we're really close to. We work, you know, we're very proud of what we do. We have great relationships with people, but then you still have the noise of, you know, people saying, oh, it's just for rich, it's just for this, you're ruining our town, because we live in a resort town. So always balancing the personal and the professional side of what we do. And it's tricky, and it's challenging, and but it's very rewarding. You know, Friday night we're taking out, you know, 26 people that we employ full time, that all make way above a living wage. We're very proud of that. You know, put a lot of money back into the local economy. We make sure that we also balance community. So our trades last year, we had a bunch of trades, and they all, I can't remember how it worked, but like a dollar per day, whatever it was. So the trades raised $10,000, and then we matched $10,000 to go to the local food bank. So $20,000 to kind of also show the community that development can also be a benefit, you know,
if it's done right.
And then the hiring, like we had 240 guys on site a day, a lot of guys.
Right.
You know, and all those guys are buying stuff in town, living in town, and doing stuff in town. So, but you know, it's just, I think for women especially, it's handling the noise, right? You know, I just want to do my job. I just want to get up in the morning, do my job. But you know, how do you look? How are you talking? How are, you know, what are you doing? Who are you as a person? All these things that actually don't matter for men. A man would get up, he goes to work. Right. And not to, you know, I'm not a man hater. I love men.
No, I love men
my whole life.
I love men.
But I've also tried to kind of, again, learn from that. Like, I don't need to bring that emotion in there. I don't need to go, you know, to my boss at the time, do you like me personally? Are you my friend? Do you think I'm doing a good job? I'm just like, well, if I'm not doing a good job, he's going to tell me. So I'm just going to like, go ahead, tell him what I think, work my work, do my thing, think in that way, as opposed to, am I okay? Am I just like, you know, I'm just going to do this. And that's the tricky part, I think, for a lot of women, unfortunately.
So my mind, as I'm trying so hard to listen to you, you know, no, because you bring up so many amazing points. And I think about, you know, this work that we're doing right now, you and I getting up, you know, you getting up and getting all pretty really early.
I did my hair this morning.
I know, that's amazing. When you have a lot of hair, it's a lot of work. No, but you look back at some of these, I usually have my hair up, but this is just slept on, by the way. I watched it yesterday. Thanks. Anyway, so some of the things that I kind of want to put pin in and jump around a little bit. So one of the pins is listen. Listen, ladies, listen to hear, not to respond.
Yes.
That is such a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
Is that listen to hear what your husband was teaching you about, you know, cut bait. I would call it cut bait. And I think about that particular piece right there is what happens to a lot of us women, because we have a nurturer in us. Often we will keep employees way too long.
Yeah.
Right. So I just say that because I'm thinking about a whole bunch of situations that I've been through in the last few weeks with my clients who are women in business.
Yeah.
And it's like, cut bait. I know you've invested a lot. They're burying you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that is like,
that's tricky. Yeah. The human side, the employee, like it's easy for the money or the business or the this and that, but you have to be that same way with people. And I'm talking, you know, personally and business, right?
Don't enable people. Don't enable bad behavior. Don't let them think they're doing a great job when they're not. Don't let them bury you because they're making bad decisions.
Yeah.
You know, develop them or cut bait. So anyway, I just say that. So one is your listening is so important. So, and I was guilty of it because I was listening to you, but my mind was pinging on all this other stuff, right? So I'm like, focus, focus, focus. Don't think about what you want to say next. So that's why I suddenly go, what were we talking about? You know, because I'm trying to come back to present. Okay. So another thing that I know about you and I heard from you is that, and this is how I'm going to put it back, is that, how old are you, Shell?
I'll be 59 in 3 weeks. 2 weeks.
Oh my God, you're pushing 60, you old bag.
Yep. Proud of it.
Right. Yes. Me too. Okay. So 57, I turned 57 in September.
Yeah.
And that's, I know about you that we're comfortable enough in who we are.
Yeah.
That age is just a number. And you wouldn't believe how many women come to me either because they think they're too young, not taken seriously, or they're too old.
Yeah.
And the truth of the matter is how you show up tells your story.
For sure. 100%.
So you don't have to tell people, you know, I am a strong, independent woman. You don't have to tell them, just show up.
Yeah.
You know, and I have people say, well, doesn't this happen to you? Doesn't this happen to you? It's like, my blinders are on. I have it might be happening around me, but I'm not paying attention.
Oh yeah. I think the funnest, and I know it's not really a word,
such a word
thing for me is when someone doesn't know me, specifically an older white male. And I mean, again, I just say this joke because it's my joke in town. I'm like, can we do that? Like, young. So, you know, I had someone else the other day. I'm helping, again, mentoring a family that is going through some stuff and they need help. They need someone to help them. And I won't get into the details of it. And, you know, anyway, so I had one of their people call me and it was just fun because he's the first thing he does. I can feel him up here. And well, you know, Shell, and you just da-da-da-da-da, and this is really none of your business, and da-da. And I went, well, actually, goes, well, let me talk. And I went, okay, then. Oh, this is going to be fun. And I just went, okay, then. And I just sat there. And I listened to this guy rant and rave. And I went, that's all very nice. But I don't care. Like, this is what we're going to do. And this is how we're going to do it. And I could be wrong. And I maybe not be right, but what you're saying, I don't agree with. These people that I'm with don't agree with it. So that's very nice. And he tried, and I think too, what happens is that, you know, I just see it so clearly now. I didn't see it as a kid, you know, I didn't see it in my 20s, but a lot of these people, and it's not just men, it's women too, then they start the personal attacks. They start the, you know, you're, and you just go, I'm not, and then, you know, you say this, well, I don't know why you're getting so personal. I don't know. It's not about you. It's not about me. And it's just so much fun to find calmness. And I mean, I'm saying this now at this age, like I did not have this 20 years ago and probably maybe not even 10 years ago. But it is a really cool thing to go, okay, like, I'm just going to stay, like you just said, like, that's your thing. That's how you do it. You go, and that's how I do it. I go, okay, there's all these things being said. So at this open house that I was at there's some pretty nasty things being said. I was at a dinner party with Shelley Evans and she said, da, 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 and I'm just like, where is this going? I could go anywhere. I could be at a dinner party dancing on a table naked. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. What?
But I was just like, doesn't matter. This isn't me. I know this isn't me. She's trying to do this. She's trying, sadly, this is all she's got is a personal attack. So I just did the Sam like that, right? And again, I'll use that analogy now, like the blinders. You know, we all have in our heads how we like put ourselves in our funnels, right? So I will just go up and I will just take my piece of paper that I've already studied and talked with my niece. I'm like, Chris, I got a public open house. I want to read my speech to you 5 times. I want to be prepared. So I'm not afraid to say I'm going to prepare myself.
Right.
So I get up there and I've already known I've read it 3 times, so I can just get up, stick to the script. Thank you very much. Sit down. People come up, they're talking all over, the buzzer's ringing, they look like idiots. I go back up, thank you very much, sit down. And it's trying not to get emotional because so many people are, especially for women, are putting things in your head all the time. And like you said earlier, you know, when you're talking about the older self or the young self, and yeah, when I opened my store, the amount of people that came and go, oh, can I talk to the owner? And I didn't take it as an insult. I'm like, I'm the owner, you know, and yeah, and people thought I was crazy. And I was just like, I don't know. I just have something in my DNA that I just don't care what other people think.
Well, it's true. And it is something in your DNA because the truth of the matter is a majority of us are not like that.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's a skill that gets developed. Ladies, hear me when I tell you this. This is a skill that gets developed. So
you can develop it.
You can, and you don't have to become old bags like us. It's so funny. People say, don't talk like that about yourself. I go, yeah. I think it's fucking funny. I love it. You know, hold on, I'm going to cough. Hold on. Sorry. By the way, you have a cold and you're showing up like a rock star. So
I'm my husband's made me like lemon and ginger and hot water. And...
yeah, thank goodness we're like 2,500 miles away, so I don't get your cold. But anyway, I had some pieces of this. Okay, so we always like to leave learning points throughout this. This is my goal, at least, is to make this purposeful time. So one of the things we were just talking about was those blinders.
Yeah.
You know, I remember I went to therapy when I was in my 20s, and we're just trying to figure out who we're going to be, right, in our 20s. And I remember the therapist telling me, what other people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. It's a hard thing.
So
I
hard.
Actually care a lot. Like I do care a lot, actually. You know, I do, like I say, but I do. Yeah, it's tough.
It is tough, but it's true. What other people.
That's great advice.
Now, it's great advice. Now, it doesn't mean run around being an asshole.
Yeah.
That's not that advice.
That's right.
That advice is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to like it.
That's right.
When you get the attacks, we were talking about personal. So it makes me think again about personal. We are women in business.
Yeah.
Right? So here's the thing. We're naturally going to be nurturing. We're naturally going to care. We're naturally hoping that everybody likes us and likes our product or what we do. That's just who we are, right?
Yeah.
However, it can get us in a lot of trouble. And I'm going to circle back to 10 minutes ago when I was saying that don't enable bad behavior. Don't enable bad performance. Don't enable, you know,
don't take the bait.
Right. Unskilled people attacking you. See, I call them unskilled.
Yeah.
They go for the attack because they don't have the skills.
That's right.
To make it about business.
Yeah.
So if we're going to be business women, then don't, it's such a great piece of advice you just get. Don't take it personally. I know it seems hard. But the truth of the matter is that when you're in that situation, step out for a minute, just see yourself there.
Yeah.
And then ask, what business, what would the business person in here, what decision would they make? Right. A friend of mine just went through, lost a contract, right? And they took it very personally. They'd had that contract with that company for like 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I asked some questions and it was really clear to me it was not a performance issue.
Yeah.
It wasn't, don't take it personally. It was business.
Yeah.
That contract, you were being paid a ton of money because 8 years ago, the technology, there weren't people doing what you do.
For
Now a
sure.
machine can do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it
You
wasn't
can't
about
take it.
you.
Yeah. And I
So
think
remember that.
and I think it's interesting, like, you know, when we talk about ways we deal with stuff, because that's what we're talking about. How do you deal with all of this stuff, and how do you be successful, and how do you be the best person you can be? How can I, like, you know, go out and have a nice dinner and like not worry about, like, you know, all the stuff around me? But you just said it there where, you know, you got to take yourself out. My kind of analogy is I always do the whole 50,000 feet. I go, look above you and go take yourself out of the situation. And yes, if you go, okay, are the arguments personal or are they business?
Right.
Right. Because if they're personal, they don't matter. Well, I don't like you. I don't like the way you talked at that meeting. I don't like what you said. And you can just go, okay, that's nice.
You are so allowed your opinion.
Right. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
okay. Like, it's okay. And I think too, what's hard is, you know, I think what I've learned as well is that, you know, time, like, so for instance, you know, these people that have done whatever, it just comes out of the wash. Like like this one that I keep going back to, this council meeting, those same people have been up at these same council meetings, and it hasn't been about 5 or 6 years, but they actually had a lot of power back then, because, you know, one was like, I won't even say who they
No,
are.
no,
I won't
yeah.
give them that. But they actually had a lot of power, and their voice in this town had a lot of power. That power is diminished over the years because so many new people and fresh people and lovely people have come in, and they don't want the town to be like this anymore. I've got, you know, 17 commercial spaces that I'm leasing out, huge, 20,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I've got sisters doing a decor store. I've got ladies doing an art store. I've got a woman opening a daycare. I've got another lady doing a WeWork space spot. I've got a liquor store, a grocery store. So I'm just like finding all these people and giving other people opportunities to have their own business. And now all these people see this and they're like, we don't want to hear from these people anymore. So time, and that's what's really hard too, is like, you know, sometimes you just have to really go stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You know, speak your truth, stick to the business point of it. Don't get personal, because they're just, and that's why I joke the old white men, because you know, you eat them up, but you eat them up in your own way to make yourself sleep at night. Because you have to also feel like you're defending yourself, and you also have to feel your, you know, and my thing is I'm always like, hey, you know, if you want to come and sit in front of me and have a cup of coffee, I'm available anytime. Anyone that, you know, writes a bad post on Facebook, oh, you guys just care about them. Oh, that's nice. Well, I don't agree with that. Would you like to meet me and have a cup of coffee and we can talk about this? And some people actually take me up on the offer, which is great. And the other people just go away into the distance because they're not interested in that. And because I know what I'm doing and I know who I am. So I have no problem putting myself out there and saying, yeah, you want to meet up? You want to chat? Let's do it.
I'm going to stop you right there because I want to grab that piece. So, ladies, I know who I am and why I'm here.
Yeah.
That is where, if people can, please just get really clear on your why.
Yeah.
This is who I am in business. This is who I am as a mom. This is who I am as a grandma. This is who I am 100%. As a lover. You know, those are things. But who I am in business, I know who I am and I know my why.
Yeah.
There's this, I'm going to bring this up. There's a sign, and you probably saw it at my house in Cerritos, up on the wall in the dining area. It says, I'm not for everybody, but those who like me a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, sister.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think that's true for all of us.
And
it's
you have to be
like,
okay with those people that just don't ever will like you. Will always.
They're not your people. They're not your people. No, they're not your
That's one of my favorite sayings of yours, by the way.
Thanks. I'm
it's
sure
one
I
of my favorite.
Plagiarized it the hell out of it from other sources, but you know, they're not your people. There's like almost 8 billion people on the planet, kids.
Yeah.
You don't need all of them.
Yeah, that's right.
You can't handle all of them.
That's right.
You know, and that's another point I like to remind people of. Almost 8 billion people. How many customers do you need to be successful? How many clients do you need of 8 billion?
Yeah.
They're out there. You're fine.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Okay, sis. So, whew.
I know, it's crazy.
It's so awesome. It's so great. I just love this. Is there anything that you would like to leave, advice or, you know, nuggets that you want to leave before I close this out today?
Well, I think the most important thing that, I wasn't very good at probably in my youth and my 30s, and I think the world's changed. I want to think the world's changed as far as women. I've just seen so many amazing women in business. I've seen, the difference between me growing up in my teens and 20s as a woman, in my 30s. I really feel, and I'm a positive person. I
Yes,
think,
you are.
I can only think in a positive light. And that is something that my parents gave to me. There was never, they were great people, meaning that, like, if I was like, oh, it's raining out, they're like, oh yeah, I guess we'll have to wear an umbrella. I'll get an umbrella. Oh, like, I'm tired. Oh, we should go to sleep. Like, there's always a solution. Do you know what I mean? There wasn't a like, oh, you poor thing. It was just like, oh, I'll go to bed, like that kind of stuff. And I think nowadays, I do think, people like you being out there saying, okay, it's okay to be coached. It's okay to talk. It's okay to get help. It's okay to grab nuggets from people. You talked about your therapist. I mean, when I went through my divorce, I'm on my second marriage, man, like, I went to this therapist and I hadn't been to one before. And, just little nuggets she gave me
Right.
saved me,
Right.
saved me. Just
Me too.
little things, right? Just like you bring up yours
Yeah.
from years ago. And you don't have to like everything everyone says, and you don't have to take everything that everyone says. But, my husband also said one of the best things to me when I was going through divorce and I had met him, and I didn't want to share all the stuff and trauma that I was going through. Because I'm too positive. I didn't want to download this on my new partner. And he just looked at me and goes, Shelley, a problem shared is a problem halved. And so with my kids and with my friends, I'm like, look, at a problem shared is a problem halved. Like, you might not want my solution because it's my strength and my weakness, because, like, I always see a solution. Some people don't want a solution.
Right.
Right. So I'll always say, look, I'll give you a solution because that's my nature. You don't have to take it. So I
Yeah.
think, just like Sam, like, I mean, I've reached out to you on a personal level before as well. Connections, you said right at the thing. I love connections with people. My people are my people. I love my people. And if my people start not loving me back, then it's like, it's hard. But then, as
Hey.
you said, you're not my people anymore. Maybe you were
Yeah.
my people back then, but you know what? We've all changed. Maybe you're not my people now.
Right.
So I think that's the biggest thing, is like, reach out, get coaching, talk to other women, throw your problems out there. Don't be superwoman. I'm not superwoman by any means, right? I do my best every day, and I'm okay when I fail.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Well, you're going to have to fail. Otherwise, you don't really grow and learn,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you can't really have empathy
Yeah.
without
Yeah. And it
failure.
really drives me nuts if I don't win. Like, if I like, oh, I'm going to go get those guys, and I'm going, like, okay, Shelley, again, get 50,000 feet up. What did you accomplish? What did you achieve? Get your personal stuff out of it, not just
You,
other people's
yeah,
personal. Get
you go way higher.
your ego out of it.
Thank you. You go way
Right?
higher than me, 50,000 feet. I only go 2,500.
Yeah. It's an old thing from my old Whistler Blackcomb days.
Yeah. 50,000, I go 2,500 feet.
Yeah.
You're right. I wouldn't even be a third of the way up the mountain if it was 2,500, I guess. But
Yeah.
so,
And I think that's the most important thing, Sam, is doing stuff like this. And I hope you keep doing it and sharing it and continuing. And because I think, I watched last week with the author, and I'm in awe of what she wrote and the book and everything. And, I didn't get a chance to watch it live, but I watched it afterwards. And
yeah.
And my message is that, I certainly don't have all the answers. I know you don't, but if we talk to each other, it just helps each other.
So I love you for that. So I'm gonna do some tie downs.
Yeah.
This is the coaching type stuff. Is just this morning, I reached out to a colleague / girlfriend, and she had lost her business partner and very dear friend.
Aw.
And so, of course, there's the Facebook thing. So sorry, da, da, da. And then I just woke up thinking of her this morning, and I messaged her and I said, please allow support.
Yes.
Because she's me.
Yeah.
So she's me. And a lot of people don't know this, but I had a really tough last year and a half.
I know.
And I didn't let people support me.
Yeah.
Look, I'm getting.
I know. And I know what you went through.
Yeah, I know.
And I know you were like, got this.
Got this.
I'm Auntie Sam. I'll be there for the kid.
Right.
I'll do this. I'll do that. Yeah.
Right. So
yeah.
this is actually the brainchild of this group.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because we all, as women,
yeah,
we got it.
Yeah,
We always take care of everything. We
that's
got
right.
it.
You have to
So
reach
create a
out.
space where we take care of each other.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, babe, big hug,
thank you.
big hug. I
I'm
love
so
you.
much better now. Anyway,
But we have
so
to do that. We have to do that, right?
yes, because we're all overachievers or, super achievers or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
And life
yeah.
isn't perfect, right? Life
Oh
isn't
my
perfect. And we
God,
all
no.
go through stuff. And family, we've got 5 kids too. And we've got some stepchildren that are a bit, my stepchildren that are a bit
Yeah,
estranged. You have to
yeah,
deal with that. So it's not perfect. Like I'm not sitting here going, everything's perfect, but I talk about the good and the bad at the same time,
yes.
but not giving like for you, like we said, it's not giving anything more power or less power. It's just life. Okay, well,
It's
this
just
isn't working
life.
right today. Let's just find another path. Like you
Yep,
said, redirect, right?
redirect.
Find another path. And
And one
yes,
of the
I'm sorry for your friend. And yeah, I hope she,
receives support.
yeah,
Because I was like, I got this. So
yeah,
that's what I learned this last 2 years.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, I have something really cool to say, so I have to stop this. So here is one of my favorite things because you've said it throughout our conversation this morning. And you said, um, there's always a solution.
yeah,
That is one of my mantras. Okay,
yeah,
there's always a solution. And so if we can leave everybody listening with one thing is that there's a solution. It's a deep knowing that there's a solution. You may
yeah,
not know what it is yet,
yeah,
but if you can get in the energy and the thought of there's always a solution, and for
yeah,
that, I'm grateful. So you get into a completely different mindset of I don't know what the answer is, but I know it exists.
yeah, somewhere.
So
And it might not even be
we'll
what you
find it.
want, right?
No,
Right?
it's usually
Right?
it's like, damn it,
But it's
that's
a
the right
solution.
answer, and I don't like it. Yeah.
It's a solution, right?
So cool. All right. Well, thanks for letting me get emotional because
Aw,
that's what we're here for.
I know.
This whole thing is about supporting women at the top of their department or their business or their company or
Yeah,
whatever, because we don't have another safe place really,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So this is meant to be this. This is exactly what it's.
Very important.
Yeah,
Like I
I think
said, but I think you're missing your also superpower. So you have the business side, but you also, I mean, I'm pretty good at my business side, but
yeah,
I came to you for my personal side and you were
right.
really there for me. And I think that's another thing too. So if somebody's struggling with a friend or a coworker or a partner or anything, I think there's value in also getting the personal, because
Yeah,
we talked about that business, personal, da, da, da.
right.
And sometimes you can't function if your personal side is like a little bit wonky. So that's
That's
where coaching is great as well.
Yeah, well, that's
Coaching is
why I
great as
say I'm
well.
a life coach for women in business because I love all those things. I love life
Exactly.
coaching, I love business, and I love
Yeah.
women. So
Yeah.
there's that. All right. All right, I gotta go.
Cool.
So let me close this out here for a second. Oh, I read the closing. Okay, so the
Yes.
closing is thanks for tuning in today. Make sure and hit the get notifications from this group so that if you're just waking up or driving in the car, you'll get a little ping of, hey, they're live, right? Because we have phenomenal women like Shelly in the morning. And my eyes look at, ooh, okay. Let me see what I'm trying to say. Miss your opportunity to talk and get to ask questions. Okay, so that's the part that we'll get better at, where women can actually ask questions of us. But right now, I'm just having the best time just talking to you and hoping people are taking notes and little nuggets. If you are personally interested in anything that Shelly is doing or want to connect with her, Shell, will you put your connection stuff in the comments in this
For
group?
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Mackenzie Village or you or whatever. She's a
Yep. My
phenomenal,
Facebook's fine.
yeah, she's a
Yeah.
phenomenal mentor. It's not her business, it's her heart work. you know. And then I think that's it. I think that's it. If, any of you, if you have not signed up for my Good to Great challenge in January, go find it. I'll put it in here today just because it's free. It's my favorite price. It's free. But so many people make New Year's resolutions and
Yeah,
they get, they quit. Everything's done now. They're like, I'm closing out the year. I'm burnt out. Family's coming. I got to do this, blah, blah, blah. So instead we decided we're going to ease into 2024
smart.
on a daily drip of a good to great,
Yep.
do some live stuff in the master coaching like this. So I didn't do any coaching today, but anyway.
You always do coaching, like, again, right?
You like it or not.
I'll take a couple nuggets.
Shelly Evans, I love you so much. Thank you
Love
for
you
making
too.
space and getting up this morning. Mwah. See
I'll
you soon.
talk to you soon.
Okay, babe. Bye.
Bye.